Your opinion required.
In light of the recent news of Blizzard being sued by the state of California, I decided to go and do some research into female gamers within the gaming industry as well as playing video games as well, and I came across some interesting articles. This one here, dated the 4th of March in 2021, talks about the rise of female gamers, and it states that in 2020, women accounted for nearly 41% of all gamers in the United States, and in Asia, where 48% of the world's total gaming revenue comes from, women now make up between 40 and 45%. And I thought to myself, this is actually a pretty good thing. We look at the world at the moment, especially with COVID, and people are sitting at home by force in some countries. They can't get work due to the restrictions that states have placed on travel. The hospitality and tourism industries have taken a real dive. So this gives at least some people an outlet to not go crazy while they're stuck at home, but it also gives them the opportunity to move into YouTube, Twitch, etc., make some money potentially without moving down to the OnlyFans route, which I don't think anybody can really back out of once they go there. So this article was good. It talks about the different cultures through different areas of the world, from Europe and Asia, and what their rationale or motivation is to play. It then continues down into the workforce perspective, which talks to the male-dominated environment that it is now, given that gaming, or at least game programming and software engineering, is very math-focused, engineering-focused, based on the recent studies that talk to STEM fields and the predominance of males in those workplaces. This doesn't seem out of the ordinary that 84% of executive positions in the gaming industry are held by men. It does say that outside of executive ranks, only 24% of those working in the industry are women, and that does correlate with other STEM fields: physics, the maths, the engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, etc. They have pretty much the same ratios. It does continue to talk about the inclusion of female characters within games and how it only makes up about 5% of the video games that are out on the market as at the time of writing this, I believe from a 2020 study. But it does go on to say that when women are included in games, they're often hypersexualized, and that's evident from the lack of armor, I guess you could say. Most of the fighting games where you see women in their garb, it doesn't leave a lot to the imagination, let's say. So moving through that, I then found this from The Independent in the UK, which finds that 28% of female gamers are sexually harassed. Now, this gamer here, Sunpi or Sunpai, a popular gamer, it says, she says that not a day goes by when a man doesn't send her a nude pic, let's say, or at least ask if he can send her one. And she says, I've had people online harassing me, saying that they'll murder me and murder my family if I don't give them attention. So this puts a very dark sort of focus on the web in general and how women are received. And not only that, how do men deal with their own insecurities if through anonymity of the internet they feel like they can actually threaten people with murder if they're not given attention by someone who's potentially a world away. So it continues to say that sexual abuse and sinister threats Sunpai has faced are sadly by no means unique. Women in gaming routinely suffer sexual harassment, aggressive abuse, and sometimes even graphic threats of certain activities and murder from male gamers. Now, no doubt this is generally when they're at, I guess, lashing out if they got shot by a girl, or the girl on their team, if they were teamed up, ended up with more kills on the ladder before the end of the game, and they just can't deal with their own inadequacies. But it's still striking that that actually occurs. Now, I understand through Twitter, Reddit is probably a big one as well. You get a lot of comments of people putting hideous things of what they will do to women. But it does represent the state of society when, due to anonymity, you can act how you truly feel. And that's what's more alarming here than necessarily that this young lady is getting harassed, is that these people aren't going to act this way on the street. But when there's the chance or the high chance of zero repercussions, this is their true feelings and their true motivation and intent is to harm. So I'd like to get your thoughts on what you think about how, generally in this case, men should be acting online, and whether we as a society need to decide that the laws surrounding anonymity on the internet need to be a little bit more strict. Now, obviously, you can't have privacy and security. They're mutually exclusive. The more security that a government provides, the less privacy we end up having, and byproduct of that is less freedom. But our society is built off the idea that you can pretty much do whatever you want to do, provided it doesn't impact on someone else's freedoms. That's the fundamentals of most Western society laws, at least anyway. So I found another article from the Business Insider in Australia, and this actually talks to the lawsuit that Blizzard are currently going through. And it does cite some examples of what's going to be heard by the court. So the suit focuses on two primary violations: sexual harassment and discriminatory practices. And it says that it offers some examples. So in the first example here, a newly promoted male supervisor delegated his responsibilities to female subordinates in favour of playing Call of Duty. One female employee who had taken on management responsibilities on the games team was told she couldn't be promoted by her male supervisor because she might get pregnant and like being a mum too much. In the case of sexual harassment, female employees reported being hit on, having comments made about their breasts, and jokes about other bad crimes being made at work. Now, in one example cited in the lawsuit, a female employee committed suicide while on a company trip due to a sexual relationship she had been having with her male supervisor. Now, I think we need to dig a little deeper into this before we throw the baby out with the bathwater. But the fact that someone lost their life due to circumstances surrounding her relationship potentially is pretty scary. And I don't think that anybody would want someone to lose their life because of this situation, but clearly either harassment or abuse and ongoing abuse and harassment has led to this outcome. Now, this woman had a family, a mother, father, potentially brothers, sisters. Based on this, you probably say that she wasn't a mum. But that's people who have lost someone in their life because other people can't keep their opinions to themselves, at least continual opinions to themselves. Now, it does go on to say that the executives have stepped down, including the head of the Diablo studio, Jay Allenbrack, and although the Activision did have initially a defiant stance, there's been some YouTubers, streamers, etc., who have come out against this. This looks very similar to the Me Too movement in Hollywood a few years ago, and I'll be interested to see whether other gaming studios come out with similar things, perhaps some other companies rather in Silicon Valley who have had similar issues in the past. This may bring more of that to light. I'm not too sure on what the California state is going to request of Blizzard. They're probably going to put some harsh penalties in place and then monitor them as they go forward. Either way, this is definitely going to hit their back pocket. A lot of people within the gaming industry are voting with their wallets. As I mentioned, subscriptions are down in World of Warcraft. They've put, I mean Blizzard have put games on indefinite hold, notably the upcoming Overwatch 2. So it's definitely going to have an impact. Be interested to hear what you have to say. I'll post all of the articles in the comments section below, or at least in the description. And let me know what you think, about gamers in general, men and women, how you think female gamers and any experiences you've had, and what you think about Blizzard and other companies who are quite clearly not treating their workers with any kind of respect. Until next time.